Well, hey folks, this is Fat Guy Flies RC, and this is a 64mm sport jet Banshee. Just a great solid little plane. Let's take her out in the field and get a flight in. We'll come back here and we'll talk about it afterwards. Meet you out in the field. Hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC. All right, we're going to take up the FREEWING 64mm Banshee. Runs on 4S power. Got a KM model afterburner inside of there. And got a Spectrum AR630 antennaless receiver. Take it up and have some fun with her. Should have watched my introduction in the man cave. When we get done with the flight, whatever flights we do, we'll do a closing battery, or do a battery report here, but we'll do a go over the rates and everything back in the man cave. Stand on the other side? Yeah. Okay. Alright. Winds are kind of out of the east right now. So. And it is hot, hot, hot. It's 95 to 100 degrees right now. So we're going to fly and get back in, fly, get back in. Alright, timer set for 4 minutes and flying the high rates. Run a 2600 4S HRB. Very aerobatic little plane, or can be. Very great
landing flaps.
Alternative if you're looking for a beginning 64 EDF.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
A good beginning EDF. This makes a great beginner EDF.
Flaps up.
Want to take it up now? Take it down here, do the same thing. Wing over, kinda. Gotta hold a decent amount of up elevator, or down elevator. Turn back towards us now. Fast pass. Go straight up with it.
Time remaining 2 minutes.
Alright, do another touch and go.
Landing flaps.
Alright, go ahead and actually land this time.
Flaps up.
Alright, still got 1 minute and 21. Take it up again. This time we'll do a couple of low passes before we do our final landing. Alright, takeoff flaps.
up.
Try to keep it down a little bit lower.
1 minute.
I'll turn towards us now. Turn towards us again, show the belly. All right.
Landing flaps. 30 seconds. Twenty seconds.
A little bouncy bouncy, but that's okay.
Flaps up.
Now I'm going to push it for one more quick up and down.
Timer expired.
No flap landing this time. Flying on borrowed time. Little juke and jive, slow it down. Good looking little plane.
Prop secured.
Now, we were 16 seconds over on a 4-minute timer. Okay. That's where I have the 2600 4S HRB. Has a 60C discharge. And I'll explain how you're able to use an afterburner with a 4-cell battery in the man cave. And we got 28% left, so that's just perfect. Alrighty, well there you go. That is the FREEWING 64mm Banshee. It does come with thrust reverse, but I opted to use the nose gear gyro instead of thrust reverse. So there you go. We'll meet you back at the man cave and we'll go over all the rates and everything we flew in. See you there. God is good. God bless y'all. Bye-bye. Hey folks, had a good time flying the Banshee. Tell you what, Mother Nature came in though. This was the first plane I flew and we got out there and it was bright and sunny. And then slowly I could see them clouds rolling in. We got this, we were able to fly this one. We were able to fly the Vulcan, and then we had to get out of there. I was going to fly the 80mm F-22, but Mother Nature said, nope, you got to go. Well, anyways, we had a good time. We got one good flight in. Now the Banshee here, this is, I got this one was first released. You can see it's got all kinds of boo-boos and nicks and cuts and dings in it, but I'll tell you what, it's a solid flying plane. I originally had it on just a 6-channel AR620 with no stabilization at all, and had it with the thrust reverse active. And I said, well, you know what? I'm going to change that. Gave her a new clear coat. I took her all apart, put her back together, and when I took her apart, I installed a
Motor is on.
KM model afterburner there. That's actually the version 4 afterburner. And when I put that in there, and then I took a real wide popsicle sticks or thumb depressors, took a hand level and put this little hot glue, this little shelf in there, okay? And that's where I installed my AR630 antenna-less spectrum receiver. I got all upgraded AS3X Plus and all that. And pay attention to that right there. See where I've got that? This is a 2600 4S HRB. See where I've got it right there, about ½ an inch in from that front wall. Okay, see how far it's on the wood tray? And this is the KM model afterburner. Now I told you I would tell you in the flight how you usually this is a 6S plug, But you see that black wire there? See that black wire right here? My finger's wiggling, okay? And the way that this lines up together, let me get a little bit closer, you can see it. See how that black wire is there? See how that plugs together, okay? It actually fits right in there. I have to kind of shove it in there. Here, let me unplug it. Okay. Okay, they're unplugged. See the black wires? Okay. See the black wire there? Okay. I'm going to line these two black wires up with there's little cutouts here and the teeth prongs on the balance lead. I'm going to line up at the far side there, and it will just fit in there. And that's how it looks when it's all hooked up together. That's how it looks. That's the black to black lines up, okay? And that's what enables, that turns on my afterburner. Works just fine that way. Technically, it would work with a 3S if you can get it in there. Now, I'll include a link to the video because this actually has an Outrunner motor. So the back of the motor actually spins. So obviously I couldn't hook it to the back of the motor. Instead, I built a T-brace. KM model afterburners have little tiny holes at the back of the physical burner where you can put like push rods or any kind of stiff wire that you can find, like stiff wire like this, and put it in there, bend it, and glue it in. But I'll put a link to my video that I've got where I installed one in a K8 Red Falcon that had the exact same kind of motor. And I'll put a link to that video on how to do that. But that's how you do the KM model afterburners. As far as I know, that's the only way you can put that kind of an afterburner, center burner, butted up to the back of an Outrunner motor, or any EDF motor that it's too hard to attach. It might be sealed. Some of the EDFs have sealed backs and you can't attach anything to the back of the motor, even if they're in runners, and so you can't do that. So anyways, that's how I did that. I'll put a link to that video in the description of this plane. All right, I showed you where I put the battery. Okay. Another thing about this is on this 60, the white, this is not bare foam. This is painted white, which is a very nice feature. CG, I don't have the numbers, but it's actually embossed on the bottom of the plane. And where I put that, remember, this is not a Death Dorito, so you want it level to slightly nose heavy. You know, pretty level is perfect, but this is just maybe slightly starting to favor nose heavy. Just a little bit. That flies great like that. The information on that will be in the description of the video, the actual numbers of the CG. All right, let's talk about the rates. I flew in my high rates, okay, the entire time. Let me show you what that is. Okay. Aileron, 100%, 30% expo. Elevator, 100%, 30% expo. And rudder, also 100%, 30% expo. Flap system. Flaps up on spectrum, -100. Takeoff flaps, 0%, no mix. Landing flaps, 43%, no mix. No mix needed for elevator to flat mix. Now let's talk about AS3X Plus. Okay, got to make sure your throttle cut is on. My gains are one-time gains, and my gains are at 40, 50, and 60 on roll, pitch, and yaw. Priority, all the default of 140 on roll, pitch, and yaw. Didn't do anything with heading. Stop lock is at 35, 35, and 35 on roll, pitch, and yaw. And I did nothing with the release rate of 55, 55, and 75 on roll, pitch, and yaw. Gains are at the one time. The nose wheel gyro, the way I have it is, the rate gain is at 30% and the heading window is at 50%. Okay. And you can see that front wheel maybe you can see it. You can kind of see it change a little bit. Anyways, I can feel it when I'm going down the runway. Well, anyways, there you go. 30% rate gain, 50% heading window on the nose wheel gyro. And the priority is at the stock of 180 one-time gain on that. All right. Well, there you go, folks. That is the Banshee. Great flying plane. If I remember right, I would have gave you the battery report at the field, because this was several hours ago and my memory ain't what it used to be. I had my timer set for 4 minutes, and I want to say I came back at 30 something percent, 33%, something like that. All right, well, there you go. Great little sport jet. Put yourself a gyro receiver in there, and this could be your first EDF for sure. There's a lot of good EDFs out there for beginner EDFs. To me, the top 3, if I had to narrow it down to 3, in order of ease of flight and of value, I would have to go with this one first, the Hobby King Viper 64 second, and then the E-Flight 64 Viper being third. And mainly that E-Flight Viper is very easy to fly, but it's also the most expensive of all this. It's the better part of $300 by the time you, like $269, $289, something like that. This, I want to say, runs about $189. The 64 Viper from Hobby King runs about the same. You put yourself a gyro receiver in them, and you've got a good 220, 230 wrapped up in them. And great flying planes, great alternative. We don't always have to buy everything the Horizon Hobby and E-Flight puts out. There are other really good brands out there, and this being one of them, HK Viper being one, and the E-Flight Viper is a good. They're good flying, good plane. They're all three, but these are my top 3 picks for beginner planes. Now the Arrows Marlin is good, but it's like 220. And then by the time you add a gyroed receiver, now you've got the bind to fly E-Flight Viper. And I'm sorry, but it's got lights and suspension gear and everything right off the bat. And you have to add the suspension gear to the Arrows Marlin. But that is also a good one. But, oh yeah, and then you do have to add the suspension gear to this. I want to say it's like a $15 or $16 upgrade. But the chicken wire that comes with it is just fine too. All right, well, thank you for watching. God bless y'all. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. There will be an affiliate link for this plane in the description of the video. Buy it from my link. Don't buy it from my link. It doesn't matter to me. My main thing is that you get the right plane. You know right where to get it at. And this is a good choice. This is a really good choice. It's a good product. Of all those planes, this is the only one that's painted where the white is actually painted, not just bare white foam. So... well, you know, I'm saying that and I'm looking at the Hobby King Viper too, and its silver is painted on there also. So I don't know what I'm talking about. Hey, y'all have a good and God bless y'all. And don't forget, faith, family, and friends, and then starter EDF jets like the FREEWING 64 Banshee here. She's screaming at you. Bye, y'all.